Mountain region are going to lead this. Larry's got the presentation that he's sharing, and it's been a little bit over a year since Envirotech acquired Texas Road and Sign on the road solutions side of it, and things have been going well from, I think, both sides. And so along with acquiring the business, the products that come over with that group have been successful in the South, and will be also successful in other areas. And so Larry's going to give us an overview of those products and how they use them and how they've worked. And if you have questions, I think Larry prefers that you keep those to the end of the presentation, just so he can kind of bust through the information here. So write down your question, or you can put it in the chat for after the presentation's over. So without anything else, Larry, if you're ready to begin, I'll have you run the show.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Again, my name is Larry Settle. I lead these group of characters from down here in Texas. Like everybody knows, we were acquired by the company just a little over a year ago, February of last year. I started my company for 20 plus years and with my wife, and we sold to county governments all over Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. So let's kind of start this. Like, we said earlier that we were acquired. Now, one of the things about our product line that Envirotech liked, we're utilizing some of the same ingredients that are in all the products that or a lot of the different products that Envirotech Services already had. So we were not only acquired for one thing, and that's our product line, but we also ship a lot of super concentrates. So people can mix the product, or the customers can mix the product and apply the product themselves. The reason we had to do this is similar to why some of you guys are on this call from areas in North Dakota, South Dakota, and all over. We had to figure out a way to eat up the freight, because a lot of our trucks traveled over 800 miles just to deliver product. And so you can understand we had a lot of freight cost in there. So we added it all in, and were able to provide a customer a real good, reasonable way of utilizing a product that was concentrate. I'd like to introduce to you guys everybody that on my team. Again, my name's Larry Settle. I live in Denison, Texas. That's about 90 miles north of Dallas. Phil Danielle is on the call, and he's from Central Texas. Texas is just a large state, and that's not being braggadocious. It's just very large. So he's down about 200 miles south of me. Lynn Gardner is one of our salesmen in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but he covers the eastern portions of Oklahoma and northern Arkansas. I have Lloyd Turner, who lives in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he travels all the north central Texas and east Texas above Interstate 30. And then I have Carl Kimsey, who is in the Texas Panhandle. He lives in a little town called Canyon, which is just a suburb of Amarillo, and he covers all the Panhandle of Texas, the Panhandle of Oklahoma, and eastern or the western side of Oklahoma also. Well, before we really get started, I need to kind of give you some facts of what we have down here in Texas to look at. Amber mentioned to me that she really liked this fact the other day when she was with us. And a lot of you might know this, but you might not know. If you have a vehicle driving down a mile of unimproved dirt road, gravel road, however y'all want to state it in your states, that one vehicle, if it travels down that road every day for a year, will displace more than a ton of dust on each side of the road up to 400 yards. Well, what does a ton of dust equate to? A cubic yard of dirt or gravel is going to weigh approximately 2,400 pounds. So one vehicle is displacing almost a cubic yard of dirt. Well, in a lot of our rural areas in Texas, we have a lot of people using these unimproved or dirt roads. So some of these counties experience traffic of up to 300 to 400 trucks or cars or a combination thereof every day. So you see they lose a lot of material on their roads. So let's go to the next slide and you will see simply the way that we can talk to our counties and customers about what it costs for this material. If you're having to apply material on a dirt road and you're going to apply it just 4 inches thick, it's going to take approximately 1,643 tons of gravel to be put on a mile of road at 18 inches or 18-foot wide. But if you go over to a 24-foot wide road, and that's the way we do it here in Texas and Oklahoma. I don't know about y'all states. Then you're looking at a 24-foot wide road. Well, if you get down to the bottom there, if you add 6 inches of material, you're looking about using about 3,300 cubic yards of gravel. Well, let's look at cost and how that equates to the whole structure. If they're putting in 6 inches of material on a road surface for a mile of 18-foot wide road surface, you're looking at about $13,500 or $12,500 just for product at a cost of $5 a ton delivered. Well, in a lot of areas in Texas, and I'm sure in other states, that's a very small, their figures are a lot more than that, according to where they get their gravel or their quarries are located. Now you get over to the 24-foot wide road and you're looking at about a cost of $16,500 to apply that much product. So that makes a lot of sense of why we're always going to our different counties. And I always get this from a lot of the county road engineers, the commissioners in Texas, commissioners in Oklahoma. They're always saying, well, every year or so, we have to add more rock or more road base material to build the road back to where it's an effective road. Well, I look at that very, very weirdly, maybe, but I always ask them, do you know what the definition of insanity is? And a lot of them really won't even answer me, but I'll say that's doing the same old thing and expecting a different results. Why do you keep applying product or material on the road when we have a way of correcting that? Well, here is our solution. We wanted a product that keeps the road base bonded together. We also wanted a product that would eliminate 80 to 90% of the dust on the roads. And then we also wanted a product that could be reworked without harming the product or the effectiveness of product by allowing the road superintendents or whatever to be able to cut out the potholes, rub boards, and ruts. And we've developed a product that will do that. So I want to, before we get started with total product knowledge, I wanted you to read this statement from Tim Sorrells. Tim's is one of our great clients down here in Texas. He's in Randall County, Texas, which is just south of Amarillo. And look what he says. They've used BaseBind X and applied it with our trucks. They used maintainers and water trucks to add more water. But they applied these products and had minimal loss due to dust and driving surfaces for over 3 years. They cored their roads after 3 years and found out that after they applied our product, that they only lost 1/2 inch of caliche during that 3-year period. Now, what caliche rock is for us, it's more of a it's a clay with rock in it. It's calcite. It's got a lot of calcium in it, or limestone. So but that's native material to parts of the Panhandle of Texas. Limestone is used almost all over Texas, and then you get to some areas that have a lot of sand or sandy loam, and we treat that also. Now let's go to the products. Like we said earlier, we had products called we named them into the Envirotech company. So now we've got RoadSaver DC, BaseBind X, BaseBind 2X, and BaseBind 3X. Now these are proprietary formulas that I came up with that now Envirotech owns. These products and Envirotech is the only source of manufacturing these products in the United States. Nobody else has anything like ours. Our products are environmentally safe. Matter of fact, I'll show you a slide here in a moment. All of our items in our product are in cattle feed, believe it or not. We produce a ready-to-use formula, but the biggest bang for their buck is buying the concentrated and super concentrated, and that's being able to take a product and deliver it to a customer, pump it into tanks, and then they blend it either 2 or up to 4 parts water on location and apply it. It really makes their product line of applying a stabilizer or a dust control a lot less expensive. If I can get my slide to go here. Also, our products, all of the above that I showed you, have been put on tips. Now, I know a lot of y'all have never used a purchasing cooperative, but TIPS is the interlocal purchasing system out of East Texas. They are a tax-supported entity in their own right. They are part of a Region 8 school district in Texas, so they're supported by tax dollars. Now, why is that important? Anybody can do an interlocal agreement with TIPS, any city, county, any taxable entity, and they can, once they sign an interlocal agreement, it costs them nothing, but they can buy through the TIPS contract, and this in 50 states of the United States allows them to buy as much as they want without having to go to bid, because we pre-bid our products through them. We're given a contract, and our contract is contract number 210904 for roadway and site control products and services. And I'll explain this later if you need to understand more of how TIPS can help us. Matter of fact, to give you for instance, Gwen and I were at a conference in 3 weeks ago for cities in Texas, and we were talking about ice melt products, or Gwen was, and a city in the Dallas-Fort Worth area said, well, we have to bid everything. And I said, no, you don't. I said, we're a member of TIPS. And the guy said, done deal. We don't have to worry about it. We'll buy from you now. It really eliminates a big thing, and Gwen is excited because she understands especially the advantages of utilizing TIPS for ice products or all of our winter products. Like I told you, all of our products are basically in cattle feed. I took our product, BaseBind XXX, and had it analyzed. We can furnish this slide to any of y'all, but this is the analysis of food grade of how they tested the product. They utilize all of this stuff because everything in here has a food grade value and an advantage to bonding. If you're all around ranches, people use cattle cubes. Cattle cube is a way of spreading out over the turf so cows can eat it and get their minerals and substance. Well, all of our raw materials go into cattle feed. So we're environmentally very friendly. To apply our products, we only need, very similar to what you are faced with, obviously a water truck, and we provide our truck to apply it if they need to. If they buy the concentrate, they need to have a water truck to blend the product in. They need to have some type of compaction equipment, whether it be steel wheel or pneumatic rollers. They need a maintainer so they can scarify or plow up the road and go back and forth. Now, optionally, if you have a BOMAG or uh, a good reclaimer, that's even better. Now, the other thing that we do down here in Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, if they buy our concentrated products and super concentrated products, we provide them a tank, a bladder tank. Now, it's in baked into the price of the product. So we furnish a tank to a customer and bring our transport trucks in and fill those tanks. Those pillow tanks are about, when filled, are about 3 foot high. They're about 14 feet wide and about 22 feet long. But these bladder tanks hold up to 5,000 gallons, and most transports that we have with the company are 4,500 gallons. I want to show y'all a very short video. This was one that I had put together for Texas Road and Sign, which is now obviously Envirotech Services. If this is just going to take a minute, I'm going to shut up and play the video and let you watch it. Now, let me kind of explain. That was the product for dust control, and we suggest highly that people take the road surface and plow it or scarify it at 1 to 2 inches deep. There's two reasons for that. That opens the pores of the road. It cuts out the rub boards, the potholes, and the ruts if you have those in your rural roads. And the water helps our product penetrate better. And then if you noticed on there, then they take a maintainer or a grader and move the product from side to side. That, and doing that, that simply is blending the product in with the base material. And then they start packing. If they do that, they need to pack the road, add water in front of their packer so that you can get the road to optimum moisture. And Dr. Steve Clark can tell you more about effective moisture later on if you have questions. But and then pack the road. That particular road was done in Graham, Texas. That's north and west of Fort Worth, Texas. We did that road 7 years ago. They did not touch that road with a maintainer or anything for the next 4 years. At the end of the fourth year, they chip sealed that road without hauling any more material in or utilizing it. Now, did the road get a little rough before the year, 4 years was out? Yeah, they lost some of the material on top, but down here in that part of the world, we don't get a lot of ice or snow, but they had quite a bit of rain on that, so they had real good success with it. Let's go. We'll go to the next video, and it's another video that our sales rep, and you'll get to see him. He's on the call also. Lynn Gardner did, and let's watch that right now. This is utilizing our product for a chip seal road base. Folks, I really want to thank y'all for watching this, and now we'll open it up to questions if anybody has questions. Man, I guess everybody understood everything.
Is there a certain amount of water that you need to add to the 2-time or 3-time BaseBind?
Well, it's out here, it's quite different, maybe than other areas.
No, Larry, I think he's asking about blending instructions.
Oh, with
Yeah,
RoadSaver. Okay, with RoadSaver, the dust control product, you use it as applied. Our BaseBind X, double X and triple X are slightly different. BaseBind X is ready to use. So it comes in the truck and they spray it. BaseBind double X is a product that you can mix up to 2 parts water to 1 part of it and still apply between 1/3 and 1/2 gallon per surface square yard, no matter how deep you go. If they use BaseBind 3X, we're looking at a product that you can blend up to 4 parts water to be able to apply. So, you're effectively in Texas, our roads are between 18 and 20 foot wide for most roads for the driving surface. So 1 mile of our BaseBind triple X or X will do 1 truckload will do approximately 1.5 miles of road surface. So if you take triple X, 1 truckload of triple X, once blended, will do up to 6 miles of road of 18 to 20 foot wide road surface. Does that answer your question, Rodney?
I think what he asked you, Larry, was that when you apply the material, do you have to add water?
Yes, you do.
If you have to add,
want,
you have to increase the plasticity of the material mixed by adding water to it. What you want to do is get a product that's just a little bit stiffer than a Wendy's Frosty.
You definitely answered my question. I was asking about the concentrate. 2 parts water, 4 parts water. Thank you so much.
yes, sir. Any other questions?
So what is the average depth that you would tell a new customer to work this down into? Is it 4 inches?
Our average customer in Texas will go between 4 and 6 inches deep. Same thing in Oklahoma and same thing in Arkansas. We're trying to create the base strong enough that if you're driving large trucks or whatever over it, that it doesn't break apart. The advantages of our product, so y'all need to understand, is the makeup. The makeup of our product, and I'm not, I'll share with you some of the ingredients, but they're obviously things that are proprietary. We have our magnesium chloride that's in the product. It's the magnesium chloride that's in the other BaseBind products that y'all have sold in the past. But we also add a lot of complex sugars. Notably, and some of you've heard of it, and some of you maybe have sold against it. There is some lignin sulfonate added. There are some molasses. There's other complex sugars, and those help the mag chloride helps hold the moisture into the base, where these other products that are in the mix help do the binding and hold the materials together. So they'll bind it better and it'll last a lot longer. Do I need to did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you very much.
Well, Amber, we have a lot of quiet people today.
Well, if there are no other questions, then be on the lookout here shortly for the assessment that will follow this training. And again, make sure that you're aiming for 80% or better on that quiz. And thank you all for joining today. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to Larry or Lloyd, Phil, Len. Those guys have, or Carl, they've all been well into these products and know the area, and they're very familiar. So we've got some good experts on our side here.
Well, one of the things that I would like everybody to know, I mean, Dr. Clark's very familiar with our products. He's doing testing on a lot of base products in the lab and utilizing our products. We've had very, very phenomenal success with our products in the Southwest over the past almost 20 years. And we're more than welcome any of you to call me or any of my team. Would be more than happy to help. It's a way for us to help your customers. I'll be going up to Utah in a couple of months and helping people there. But Phil has been in this business a long time. Phil Danielle. Carl has been in it short time, but he's been involved with road stabilization before. Len has had lots of success in Arkansas and Oklahoma. And I've been involved in this industry for almost 40 years. So love to help any one of you at any time. Okay, Amber.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And again, if you have any questions, just reach out. And you guys have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.